The DOM stands for the Document Object Model. This object model is a programmer-friendly representation of whatever web page you're on. So you have your web page, and then this document object model is a model that represents all of the different elements on your web page. And once you serve the browser your HTML, the browser will then go and create this DOM-like structure with all of the elements of your HTML. And this structure will be a tree-like data structure in which you'll have parent and child nodes, and that will make things a little bit more easy to reason about if you need to traverse the DOM and do different things like that. And after the browser creates this tree-like data structure from your HTML, all of your HTML elements will be considered DOM nodes, as they are nodes on this tree-like data structure. And then once this DOM is created, well, you can then use this document object to interact with the web page and add some different functionality and to manipulate the web page and to add some interaction to that web page based on kind of what the user is doing. Because at the end of the day, this document object, well, it's just an object, just a JavaScript object that you can utilize to add different event listeners and to query the DOM and to do different things like this. So once this object is created within your JavaScript programs, because remember, JavaScript is run in the browser. So if the browser creates this document object, you're able to use this for free in your JavaScript programs. So you'll have access to this document, and then you can access different methods and properties on the document to then interact with your web page. So you can use this create element method, you can add event listeners, you can append elements to the DOM, this query selector method here allows you to get different elements from the DOM and then potentially mutate them or perform some action that way. You can get what your location is, so the kind of what URL path that you currently have, and it gives you a bunch of different other methods as well that help you interact and add some interactivity with this document object. So let's look at an example of this within our browser, and I think that will help make things a little bit more clear as well. So what we're going to do here is I have my console opened up here, and in this console here, I can write JavaScript. So let me actually console log the document object. So this is effectively console logging the DOM. I'm console logging this document object model right here. So if I run this code here and I log this out, you're going to see that it gives me a document here. And this document object, you're going to see that, okay, well, this looks a lot like just HTML tags. That's because it is. It creates this DOM out of the HTML that you see on this web page. So you see I have a body tag here, and then I have some different scripts that it's going to be running here. And then within the body tag, I could dive down further and I could find more specific elements. So you can see it has these kind of different icons and everything that it's loading up here. And then it has an inner div tag and then some span tags. So this document object here is going to have all of the elements of your web page, and it's going to be represented in a tree-like data structure. But then I can use this document to do some different things. So one thing I can look at here is the document.location. And if I look at the location, you're going to see that that kind of gives me a representation of where I'm at within the browser. So it gives me my host name, which is youtube.com, and it gives me my href, or kind of the link where what I would use to go to youtube.com, the path name, and different things like that. And then I can also do things like document.query selector all, and I can get all elements of the DOM, and let's just get all the divs. And when I return that, this is going to return all of the divs on my web page. And as you can see, I have a div that has a container ID and a bunch of different elements here that it returns. So you can imagine that by using this document object, I could select different elements, I can mutate them in some way, I could add different event listeners, and I'll have future videos on kind of the specifics of how you do all this stuff. But just know that the document object model, or the DOM, is an object-like representation of what you see here on this web page. And all of your elements are going to be represented as a tree-like data structure with parent and child relationships. And these elements are going to be called DOM nodes. And then you can use this document object to then query the DOM to get different elements from the DOM, add event listeners, add some interactivity with the user, and different things like that. So hopefully that gives you a good idea of what the DOM is in JavaScript, but stay tuned for future videos in which I explain how you can actually work with the DOM, add some of those event listeners and different things like that. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in that next one.